Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Don't want to get in trouble here. Get a copyright strike. Welcome back. This is another one of those types of videos where I deal with some information that's put out here, this time by a law firm, attorneys at law, Mazow and McCullough law firm, personal injury attorney. I sent him a tweet letting him know that I'm going to respond, and I've invited him to interject.
I might startle a dog.
I'm sorry if he feels like I'm misquoting him or if I'm getting something wrong. But he has this recording, or they have this recording on their website, and the title is How to Protect Your Children from Dog Attacks. Now, Mazow and McCullough, just for the record, we research dog attacks, and it often involves children because they're over 50% of the victims. So we feel like we know about dog attacks. We know the nature, how they happen, the things that are done that creates the conditions for them to happen, and how to protect. We feel like we truly know how to protect children from dog attacks. And I feel like what you have on here on your website is inaccurate. I don't know where you got this information from, but I believe it's inaccurate. And I'm going to explain why on this video. Welcome everybody in the room. I will give my shout outs towards the end. I don't want to waste too much of this gentleman's time if he is joining us. Now, let's hear what he has to say.
Even a dog that's not necessarily children would be see in.
So are children more at risk for dog attacks than adults?
John, the dog bite cases that we see in children tend to be more serious because they tend to occur in the facial area. Mm-hmm. Obviously, children would be more likely to be lowered to the ground in the dog's attack range. So, you know, the cases we see are damages to children's eyes, their cheeks, really deep tissue kinds of injuries.
Right. And is a dog bite then more dangerous in a child than an adult typically?
I don't know if dangerous necessarily. If a dog has a propensity to be dangerous, the dog's going to be dangerous. But I think a child is more likely to approach a dog without the fear or...
Oh, whoa. Let's stop there. Now, for all of you who didn't catch that, everything that he says on this recording is written out word for word. And this gentleman asked, he said, are children at a higher risk for dog attacks? And he pointed out that, well, the attacks usually occur in the face, eyes, neck area, as we talk about here. In other words, vital areas that can and oftentimes do cause fatality. And generally, you don't want your face mutilated. You know, people would prefer their calf, maybe their arm, not their face. So then the other gentleman asks, right, he says, quote, is the dog bite then more dangerous in a child than in an adult? Robert responded and said, I don't know if more dangerous necessarily. If the dog has a propensity to be dangerous, the dog is going to be dangerous. And then he starts to talk about how it's more likely. Now, that has nothing to do with whether or not if the bite is more dangerous in a child than an adult. I feel like he already articulated that it's more dangerous in a child than in an adult? Did he not? Indicating that they are far more likely to be attacked in their face and neck area. So that means yes. What do you mean you don't know if more dangerous necessarily? That is necessarily, sir. Am I correct so far? Is it just me who believes that? Y'all let me know in the chat room. There are a lot more enlightened people and articulate people in the chat room. Sir, if you join us, please pay attention to that. Yes, a dog bite is more dangerous in a child, sir, if they usually get attacked in their face and neck area. I don't think there's any way to argue against that. And not only that, sir, Safer America, consumer safety information. All of this is backed by the CDC. They provide links. They all link you to the CDC. Over 2 million children bitten by dogs each year. More than 3/4 of those killed by dogs are children. Several years. Do you know also, you can look this up, over 50% of all kids in the country will be attacked before their 13th birthday. Okay, so this sounds like an attack is more dangerous in a child. Plus, children, as we all know, are not as capable of fighting a dog off. Quite often, adults can fight the dog off. This is common sense stuff. So yes, necessarily, it is more dangerous in an adult. Now, let's continue.
You know, built-in protection that an adult might have. A child be more...
Adults tend to be more cautious and maybe even like think to ask the owner, is it okay if I pet this dog? Whereas a child would just go up and just do it.
Exactly. So
wait a minute. Sir, we research dog attacks here. We look at the reports, report by report. That is where I get my content. And we study all the video, all the footage we can find. We've never seen that. We've never heard that. All the attacks that we have seen and heard were completely unprovoked. There was a video that surfaced this week, just a few days ago. This boy's name was Jack Leese. He was killed last year at the age of 10 by a dog. And this is usually the scenario when children are attacked. They're usually simply minding their business. This is the dog that killed the 10-year-old boy, Jack Leese, the day before the dog killed the child. They released this footage showing that the dog was aggressive all day the prior day. Now look at this and you decide for yourself what this child did to provoke that dog. Now, I'm not going to play. It's not even an attack. I think he bit the boy's coat or something. The boy wasn't bothered. He walked away. But you clearly see this boy has done nothing. He rode up on his scooter and the dog is trying to get at him. This is usually the scenario, sir, when children are attacked. You can do the research yourself. If you want to go through all these videos, you can. Simply YouTube dog attack child. There are several disturbing videos on YouTube available for you, sir. None of them involve what you just described. None of them. Have you seen this video before, sir? It went viral.
Right.
What are you basing statements like that on? Do you remember this? If not, brace yourself. There's a dog right there. See how far away it is? There's a child coming out right here. See my cursor? You see that dog? Look at that. Look at that. The dog latches onto the child. I'm not going to play it. This dog ran from a very long distance, spotted a child, and darted directly toward the child. In the reports that we go over on this channel, they all describe that exact same scenario. Not long ago, a few days ago, a guy had dogs in his van. He opened the door. The dogs darted out and attacked children playing in the front yard. This is the typical scenario, sir. This is disappointing coming from a law firm, coming from our lawyers, when we have evidence and footage of how it happens and what goes down. To hear all these professionals regurgitating the same nonsense that has actually been pulled out of thin air, that is not confirmed by footage or reports, sir. You can go through the reports yourself. There is a good source on Wikipedia. Gives the circumstances of the attacks. What do you think a 1-month-old did to a dog? Approached it from behind? Many of these are infants, 6 weeks old. You see that? Is this baby walking up to a dog and startling it? Okay, so that is more flawed information. That is not the typical scenario. Sounds to me like the true way to protect children from dog attacks is to not have dogs in the society at all. They are muscular, powerful, fast predators that can manipulate restraints and barriers. You don't have anything like that in society and then try to blame your own children when they're attacked by them.
We tend to see, a child might startle a dog, even a dog that's not necessarily...
Listen to this. See? Child might startle a dog. This is not how it happens, sir. I've seen dozens of attacks right here. Just go through my channel. That is not how it happens.
Necessarily has dangerous propensities. Every dog is going to react differently, and if a child approaches them quickly, a dog could...
That is not true either. Pit bulls have been bred to react to the most subtle things. A slight movement or sound is more likely to cause a pit bull to snap. It's in their genetics. And it's in their genetics to not stop attacking until the victim is dead. Their appeasement response has been bred out of them. These are facts. That makes these particular dogs more dangerous. No, all dogs are not the same. More flawed information, in my opinion, from Mazow McCullough.
Turn around and latch onto their face or their upper body.
Latch onto their face? Yeah, it sounds like dog attacks are more dangerous in a child than an adult. Typically, as John asked. That is wrong, Robert. You said, I don't know if more dangerous necessarily. Yes, necessarily. Very necessarily.
Or their arms very quickly.
And that's another problem, too, I think, is that because kids are obviously shorter than adults typically, bites probably tend to be more in the upper body and the face and the neck and areas like that, whereas with an adult it might be more the legs or the hands. Or
exactly. Like in the adults, we do see some facial injuries if they're down on the ground, perhaps playing with the dog, but more likely in an adult we're going to see the arms and the hands because they're fending off the dog, or maybe they're approaching the dog from that angle.
Okay. And how can a parent help to prevent a dog from attacking their child?
Parents can be mindful of the type of dog that they let their children around, whether it's a dog that they own or whether they're visiting friends and family and relatives, just to be cautious, make sure that they don't leave their kids alone in a room with the dog, make sure that they don't sneak up from behind on the dog, startle the dog. As Robert had mentioned, because children are smaller, they tend to approach the dog at eye level, and that's something that the dog may feel threatened by and may feel the need to react to.
So you're focusing on the child's behavior and framing these attacks as usually or typically a response from the dog. I'm telling you now, sir, that is not the case. That is not what these reports indicate. Are you aware that dog attacks are actually reported in the news every single day? There's media coverage. There's oftentimes footage of the attacks. See, this is the problem when the Google filter gives you only certain stories when you Google things like dog and you click news. I hope you can see this. You will not get stories of dog attacks typically. You have to actually Google dog attack. You get the details of the dog attacks, the details of what happened, the nature, what caused them. Quite often there's video footage, there's news coverage, sir, and they give the details of the attacks. They never unfold the way you just described. They always unfold like this, where children, like these adults, are minding their own business, and up comes a dog behaving like a dog. Dogs will simply attack you to establish dominance. This is a fact. This is what dogs do. They establish who's the alpha within their pack. If they view the family as the pack, it's more likely they're going to try to establish themselves as the alpha towards the most vulnerable, the weakest. That is the kids. That is exactly why, sir, between 50% and 3/4 of all dog attack victims are children. Are you aware, sir, that children only make up about 17% of our population? If they only make up some 17% of the population, yet 50% to 75%, it varies year to year, of all dog attack victims, that means dogs are targeting children. Right? We need to understand this. We need to put out the right information. Mazow and McCullough, I believe you have flawed information on your website, and it would serve the public well if you took it down. Because some people out here are looking for answers from the experts, and they're not getting it from you. Now let's continue with the audio of this article
itself. So just be mindful of that, where you are at, the type of dogs that may be there, and take
and this thing about whether the dog is your family dog or belongs to someone else. Most children that are attacked by the family dog, the dog that lives in the house with them. So there goes that bit of information. That is flawed information. It doesn't matter. What difference does it make? Most kids are attacked by either the family dog or by a dog of a family member or friend that they know. It doesn't matter how well a child may know a dog. If a dog is present, the chances of an attack is there. And these kids are virtually never. And if they are trying to do anything to the dog, they're trying to pet it like the adults teach them to do. So the way to protect them from dog attacks is to not have dogs around, to not treat them like family. That's the crowd you need to address. People who trying to treat predators with very bad attitudes and tempers like family members, like 2-year-old kids. You need to address this dog mom, dog dad culture. It has nothing to do with child behavior culture.
Appropriate steps to keep your children away from dogs that may be dangerous or known to be dangerous.
Right. I think just adding on to that, I think a parent telling a child early on to be mindful of dogs, to make sure that they speak with the owner or the person handling the dog before they...
Oh, sir. Several dogs... See, I can tell not even these lawyers have actually researched dog attacks. This is disappointing. We have gone over several stories where a child was attacked after asking permission from the owner if he or she could pet the dog. The owner said yes. He went to pet the dog attacked. That is no way to protect kids from dogs. Do you really believe the way to protect kids from dog attacks is to tell the child to ask the parent for permission to pet? It's up to the dog whether or not the child gets attacked. So we should not expose them to dogs. Dogs should be banned. They are a safety hazard, and they target children. In this country, the people under age 13, from 0 to 13, make up about 17% of the population. But 50 to 75% of dog attack victims, they're targeting the children. There's no discussion to be had here. They should not be in our society.
Even tend to approach the dog or try to pet the dog.
Right. So without scaring a child, because obviously you don't want a kid to...
You know what? I'm going to invite some of you onto the show live. It's going to happen. Because I want one of you to try to defend this argument that you've made, or present some type of counter argument to what I'm saying.
Be, growing up just being afraid of animals, but giving them a little bit of a cautious, approach to it, where you definitely ask the owner if it's okay if you pet the dog, make sure you put your...
Okay, Sir, you are simply framing these dog attacks as virtually always the result of the dog reacting to something the child did. You didn't ask to pet it. You walked up, snuck up from it from behind. You startled the dog. As if that's typically what happens. It is not. It is not. If you truly research dog attack articles, reports, you would know that. Not even our lawyers out here have the basic information down. People, do y'all see how unresearched this area of the world is? This is why I made this channel. It is a ghost town over here, where even the people who speak on it, who are personal injury lawyers, they don't even research the actual attacks. They can't. And if they do, then they're being dishonest about the information they're putting out here, because it's flawed information.
Hand out a little bit, for the dog, and wait for them to come to you, to teaching your child a little bit of those sort of standard ways to approach an animal, that we've all learned. I think it's probably a good...
Who is this? Is this John or Robert talking right now? I think it's Kevin. It's Kevin, right? Kevin, do you own a dog? You sound like a dog owner. You sound like a dog owner yourself. Matter of fact, there may be more than one dog owner on this audio. I know dog owners when I hear them. We're only blaming the kids here. Don't you think it's smart to avoid blaming kids for being attacked by predators known to simply see something that it could overpower and attacking. That's what dogs do. They tell you, don't have a large dog near a small dog. Why? The dog will likely attack it because it's small. It can overpower it. Dogs will attack simply to establish dominance. On top of that, there are dozens of triggers. You move too fast. You're running. You make a loud noise. You bend over to tie your shoe. You don't have to do anything. And several dogs will try to attack you. They will see you and attack you. We all know this. Why are we pretending as if we don't know this? We don't have time for fantasies and make believe, living in some type of fantasy land. Dogs invade your territory. They will attack you when they feel like it. This is how dogs behave. And these are adults. Sir, let me show you something else. I showed this video earlier. What is this? What's wrong with this dog here? Is somebody provoking it? Or does it simply see someone and goes after them? Oh, it was startled. Let me show you something else here. Look at this dog here. Sir, this is a child right here. This is an adult. This is an adult. Two more adults. This dog is locked in on that child because dogs prefer to attack kids because they're smaller. Just like they prefer to attack smaller dogs. Not even this woman petting the dog broke its focus from the child. It's darting, lunging at the child. What do you think would happen if this leash snapped and she ran? The dog would start mauling her. This is how it usually happens, sir. You are really trying to defend creatures that behave like this? Are you aware that dogs are mutants? And that even their brains and neurological systems have mutated, increasing their anger, just like what you see in other mutants of the world. They have an anger issue. They're more aggressive. Dogs are mutants. Why are you defending mutant predators? Hyper-aggressive predators. Defending them by lying on children. This child is so afraid she walked away. And you want to blame these citizens? Sir, that is a disservice to the public.
Thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. What should a parent do then in the event that their child is bitten by a dog?
Okay, that's enough. We don't want to hear your sales pitch about how they need to get in contact with you and seek your assistance. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the information we just went over. I expect the so-called professionals of the world to have the truth, to have facts, and to relay those truths and facts in service of the public. This is not an example of that. Right? Okay, my live stream is restarting. Are we still live? I hope we're still live. What's going on? Are we still live? Okay, yes, we're still live. I think we're still live. Give me a yes. Can I get a yes in the chat room? I'm frozen up on this end. Okay? Oh, yes. Okay, I'm still frozen up. Hopefully we're still live. Okay, my clock is frozen up. What's going on here? Did I just waste a perfect stream? Because I want to hear from this law firm. Very much so. I hope I didn't ruin my stream here. I'm frozen up pretty bad. This is very unfortunate. Are we still live? Are we still live? Okay, maybe we're not. I'm going to hang around until it unfreezes. Oh, this is terrible. Okay, let me try something here. Yeah, it's frozen up on my end. Try to start my task manager. Okay, yeah, my page is unresponsive. Oh my goodness. Did my live stream go out? You say check my channel on my phone. Oh, okay, you're still here. Man, I'm back. Sorry. My live stream froze up real bad. Worse than it ever has. Was I here the whole time? Okay, let me test something out. Okay. Okay, we're moving. We're moving. Are we here? Okay, nothing's happening. My clock is running. I don't know if I'm still live. No, I'm not here. I've been live this whole time. Okay, thank you, Ban All Dogs. I'm sorry. I was completely froze up on my end. I don't know what happened. So I hope to hear from this law firm. I was live the whole time. Thank you, Alien Drone Services. I'm sorry I wasted a whole bunch of time right there. But I just want to invite Mazow, and McCullough to the comment section of this live stream. This live stream will stay up, right? And, you know, 2 or 3 more people will know about your law firm. Maybe visit your website. Like I said, I feel like you have some flawed information, and that is why I feel like you have some flawed information. I hope to hear from you. Sorry about that. It was completely froze up. Like, my clock stopped moving and everything. I couldn't see anything in the chat room. I thought that I was talking to myself this whole time. All right, BK Born in the house. Kodiak, Mutt Free World, Alien in the building, Ashar. Thanks for joining this live stream. Who else we got in here? Ilya, Son Goku in the building. Ban All Dogs. I Hate Cars. Sibby J Red. Yes, sir. Toxic Paw Print. Mr. Jonathan Payne. Yes, yes. Mutt Free World here. Right? I see you. I see everybody. Right? I see everybody. I want to hear from you, Mazow and McCullough. If you need help doing research to figure out the true reasons why dogs attack children, if you don't have time, I'll help you free of charge. I'll provide the information to you free of charge. I'll provide everything, the research, everything. But it really does not take that long to find the truth. All the evidence points towards the complete removal of dogs from society. If you want to protect kids from being attacked, and sir, why wouldn't you want that? When you have statistics this scary out here, sir, look at this. Here, let me share this in the chat room. I want you to check this out because it does not sound like anyone from your law firm has ever done any research into dog attacks on children. This is the digital world. There's no excuse for this level of Ignorance. Over 2 million bitten each year by dogs. Keep in mind, sir, that's reported cases. They say only one out of every 3 to 4 are actually reported. So you actually should multiply 2 by 3 to 4 to get the accurate number. Most dog bites are not reported at all. More than 3/4 of those killed by dogs are children. And bitten. When it comes to being bitten and attacked, period, children are more likely to suffer serious injuries. Look that up. Simply Google that. Google that. They are more likely to be severely injured than an adult. So yeah, attacks in kids are more dangerous. Definitely so. Pit bulls kill more children than any other breed. Dangerous dogs are often located near schools. Doesn't this sound like something that shouldn't be in the community at all? Children are most frequently killed by dogs are infants and toddlers. How about that? Of the 13 killed by dogs in 2019, 77% were ages 0 to 2. Nothing, literally, nothing else on this earth routinely kills infants age 0 to 2 or 0 to 13. But I guess if you're okay with dogs in society, then you're willing to sacrifice those lives. And that's just deaths. If you're mutilated, terribly mutilated, that's unwanted as well. You know, simply because you live does not mean that you have endured something acceptable. Being mutilated is not acceptable. Children are more likely to be the victims of fatal dog attacks than burglars. Dog bites are the second most common cause of children's trips to the emergency room. Dog attacks, and that is compared to falls. Dog attacks are much more likely to be fatal when a child is unsupervised. The face, neck, and head are the most common bite locations, making them more dangerous. Far more dangerous. What are we talking about? Trying to paint this picture of dogs as innocent victims who only attack when they're being picked on. Stop it. The reports don't reveal that. Sir, sirs, misters. Most dog attacks happen in familiar places. That means the home. The home. It's the family dog. So hopefully you will get in touch and enlighten us if you disagree with everything that I disagree with you on. I believe you have flawed information on your website, and I hope you correct it. And I hope to see all of you on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.